Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Greek ebook before it's gone.
Hello everyone! And should I change the shirt? It's always the same in all the classrooms. No, I keep it only for this. I take it off and I put it then again. Welcome to another video of GreekPod101.com, and today we'll talk about must-know autumn vocabulary. You must know this kind of vocabulary for the autumn. Okay, number one.
Pullover, sweater.
The most important. Pullover. Pullover. Not pull over. Pullover. Sweater. Το pullover αυτό είναι 100% μάλινο. Oh yes, this I have to repeat. Το pullover αυτό είναι 100% μάλινο. This sweater is 100% wool.
Βροχερός, rainy.
Βροχερός. 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 Rainy. Λατρεύω τον βροχερό καιρό. I love rainy weather. I love it. No, I don't. I love sunny weather, like that, like today. Spring. This is what I love.
Ανεμώδης, windy.
Ανεμώδης. 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 Windy. Ο καιρός σήμερα είναι ιδιαίτερα ανεμώδης. The weather today is quite windy.
Δροσερός, cool.
Δροσερός. 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 Cool. Cool, man. Τα πρωινά στο χωριό είναι πολύ δροσερά. Τα πρωινά στο χωριό είναι πολύ δροσερά. The mornings in the village are very cool. Cool. They are very cool, you know. Indeed, they are really cool. If you are going to the village and there is mountains around and it's in the forest, you have to have a lot of sweaters, a lot of pullovers and a lot of blankets in the house to survive. I have passed from all of this.
Φθινόπορο, autumn.
Φθινόπορο. 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 Autumn. Τα χρώματα του φθινοπόρου μου προκαλούν μια μελαγχολία. The colors of autumn make me feel melancholic.
Κρύωμα, cold.
Κρύωμα. 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 Cold. Flu. This you will have it all the time during the autumn season because it's a change of the weather that makes you not to know how to get dressed. So you are sweating and then you are getting cold and then you are getting sweat again. So you get the flu anyway. So be careful during the autumn. If you are in Greece, be careful what you are wearing.
Κάστανο, chestnut.
Κάστανο. 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 Chestnut. I love κάστανα. Κάστανο is the one piece. Κάστανα is the chestnuts. Αγαπάω τα κάστανα. I love chestnuts. Magnifique. And if you put a little of coconut oil, I will make now. I don't care. Spring, summer, I will make it now. I'm going later to make.
Μακριμάνικο, πουκάμισο. Long sleeved shirt.
Μακριμάνικο πουκάμισο. Μακριμάνικο πουκάμισο. Μακριμάνικο πουκάμισο. What is this? Long sleeved shirt. This is a long sleeved shirt. Exactly. Φόρα μακριμάνικο πουκάμισο. Σήμερα κάνει ψύχρα το βράδυ. Wear a long sleeved shirt today. It's chilly at night. Be careful about this because during the night it's always chilly in autumn season. So don't see now that it's sunny. Okay? Don't get affected from this. Usually it's a little cloudy, a little rainy, a little windy. So be aware.
Φύλλα που πέφτουν. Falling leaves.
Φύλλα που πέφτουν. Φύλλα που πέφτουν. Falling leaves. Το παιδί καθόταν κάτω από το δέντρο, παρακολουθώντας τα φύλλα που έπεφταν. This is in past tense. The kid was sitting under the tree, watching the falling leaves. very melancholic.
ημέρα των ευχαριστειών. Thanksgiving.
Ημέρα των ευχαριστειών. Ημέρα των ευχαριστειών. Ημέρα των ευχαριστειών. Thanksgiving. Σήμερα είναι η ημέρα των ευχαριστειών στην Αμερική. Today is Thanksgiving Day in the United States, in the US, to make it more cool. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about Greek or Greece, stay tuned, subscribe on GreekPod101.com and see you soon with more videos. Take care. Bye.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Greek. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy. In this series, you'll learn everything you need to know to start learning Greek.
That's right, and we're here to help guide you through your journey. In this lesson, you'll learn the reasons why you should start learning a new language, why you should learn Greek in particular, and how to get started.
So let's start with a question. Why learn a new language?
There are many reasons, but perhaps the biggest one of all is that it could actually change your life. Learning a new language unlocks new pathways that are off limits to you now. There are certain things that you simply cannot do without having the technical or cultural skills that come from learning a new language.
Like working or living in another country.
Knowing another language provides you with greater job opportunities. It gives you the freedom to move to another country and earn a living, or even better yet, build a career from it, instead of just being stuck in one place. A second language allows you to visit or live in places that you may never even have considered going. Knowing another language simply gives you more options to choose from.
And learning a new language also helps you to be more open-minded and see the world from a new perspective.
If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart.
These words of wisdom come from Nelson Mandela.
And he was right. Language and culture go hand in hand. The world is a big place. By broadening your understanding of other cultures, you become more empathetic and understanding of the many different ways that people live their lives. By speaking an extra language, you're able to see and experience more, which helps you grow as a person.
Learning a new language also improves your memory.
Several studies have consistently shown that those who study another language have improved memory as opposed to those who didn't learn another language. Learning another language also keeps your brain healthy by significantly delaying the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia. This difference can be as much as 4 to 5 more years of quality life.
And those are just some of the reasons why you should learn another language. The list just goes on and on.
Now you know the benefits of studying another language, but why should you learn Greek in particular?
Did you know that by speaking English, you already speak more Greek than you think?
Words such as dynamite, android, encyclopedia, octopus, and air come from Greek. Actually, around 25 to 30% of all English words come from Greek, either directly or indirectly. So you should be able to understand quite a large number of Greek words already. And English is not the only language that has been influenced by Greek. Other European languages have been influenced too. So if you're learning Greek, you'll improve your English vocabulary and have a better understanding of the English language and other European languages.
Have you ever thought of traveling or moving to Greece?
As a visitor or expat, you'll discover that the country is very tourist-friendly. Most Greeks speak some English. However, if you speak Greek, you could communicate with the locals and experience the culture more profoundly. For example, you'll be able to understand the unique temperament and sense of humor the Greeks have. After all, they invented comedy.
Speaking of comedy, how about watching an ancient Greek comedy or tragedy in one of the ancient theaters in Greece? That is a unique experience.
Ancient drama is always alive in Greece, especially in the summers. It's almost a tradition for Greek directors to present their versions of ancient drama works in modern Greek. The works can be either adapted and have a modern approach, or they can follow the typical classical path. Tickets are usually sold out, so it's a must-live experience that is only more enjoyable if you understand Greek.
My two favorite ancient Greek theaters are, first, the one in Epidaurus for its amazing acoustics, and second, the Odeon of Herodes Atticus in Athens for its beautiful view of the Parthenon that stands right above it.
Greece has a very rich tradition in theater, But apart from that, perhaps you want to learn Greek so you can understand Greek music, movies, TV series, and literature.
Two of our greatest writers have been awarded with the Nobel Prize for Literature, Yorgos Seferis and Odysseas Elitis.
Their works, as well as the works of many other great Greek writers, have been translated to English. But the only way to really appreciate the beauty of their original words is to learn Greek.
Some Greek poems are so beautiful that they have been set to music by well-known composers like Mikis Theodorakis. His songs form an inextricable part of modern Greek culture. If you have a genuine interest in the Greek culture and civilization, these are just some of the reasons why you should learn Greek.
Okay then, we've talked about why you should start learning a language and why you should start learning Greek, but how should they get started, Chrissy?
Well, it's as simple as learning your first word in Greek and building up from there.
But like we said at the beginning, you already know some Greek.
Βιολογία, αστροναύτης, μικροσκόπιο.
These are words that have made their way into English, but the reverse is also true. Many English words have also made their way into Greek.
Video clip, chips, basketball.
So on top of some Greek that you already know, there are even more words in the Greek language that will sound familiar to you.
Now let's teach you something that you might not know, but which is very useful. Ευχαριστώ. It means thank you in Greek.
That's a useful phrase. Can you tell us a little more about these letters?
The Roman alphabet, which English uses, comes from the Greek alphabet. So some letters look identical, especially in uppercase. Ευχαριστώ. Each letter represents a unique sound, but sometimes some letter combinations create different sounds.
You'll learn the Greek writing system eventually, but for now, let's put up some romanization to help you get started.
Ευχαριστώ.
That certainly makes things much easier to learn. Okay, now listen and repeat after Chrissy.
Ευχαριστώ.
Now you try.
Ευχαριστώ.
Your turn again.
Ευχαριστώ.
Well done. Now you know how to say thank you in Greek. We've covered a lot of things already, so why don't we wrap up the first lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that studying another language has many benefits, such as making you more cultured and improving your memory. Greece has a colorful history, with many things for you to see and learn. And to say thank you in Greek, it's
Ευχαριστώ.
See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Greek. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Greek pronunciation. Pronunciation refers to the manner in which a word is spoken, so don't focus on reading what's on screen. Instead, focus on listening and repeating. One of the aspects of a language is rhythm. Modern Greek is a mixed rhythm language with characteristics varying between those of syllable-timed and stress-timed languages. In syllable-timed languages, all syllables have equal duration, while in stress-timed languages, like English, some syllables are longer and some are shorter. Spanish. Spanish.
Now let's hear a Greek word. Όμορφος. Όμορφος.
Another aspect of a language is intonation. Did you notice the accent mark above the first letter? There is only one type of accent mark in modern Greek, the acute accent. It adds stress to a syllable. A stressed syllable usually lasts longer and has a slightly higher pitch than the rest. Other than pitch accents, there is no pitch system in Greek, like in Chinese, for example, where different tones define the meaning of words. Let's listen to that again.
Όμορφος. Όμορφος.
There's a golden rule in Greek concerning accents. The accent mark can only go on one of the three last syllables of a word. Let's see this in a longer word.
Ομορφόπεδο. Ομορφόπεδο.
This word, as well as the previous one, share the same root. However, the accent mark had to be moved over to a different syllable in order to comply with our accentuation golden rule. By the way, did you notice that although this word is longer than the previous one, it feels as if the syllables are pronounced faster?
Όμορφος. Ομορφόπεδο.
In general, you need to keep in mind that the duration of any syllable depends on whether the syllable is stressed and on the length of the word. Additionally, an unstressed syllable may have a different duration depending on its position relative to the stressed syllable. For example, in the second word, pre-stressed syllables take slightly longer to be pronounced than the post-stressed ones.
Imagine this rhythm is a roller coaster ride. The pre-stressed syllables are like going up to the highest point slowly. The stressed syllable is like waiting at the top for a while. And then the post-stressed syllables are like the very fast fall. Of course, while Greeks speak, these duration differences between syllables are very small and hard to notice. Ομορφόπεδο. Ομορφόπεδο.
Greek is considered a fast-spoken language. Laboratory experiments have shown that a Greek speaker pronounces more syllables per second than an English speaker. There are 5 vowel sounds in Greek that are represented by 7 letters and 4 double vowel combinations.
A, E, I, O, U.
It's really that simple. The vowel sounds in Greek are exactly the same as the vowel sounds in English.
A, E, I, O, U.
Okay, let's move on. There are 34 consonant sounds in Greek that are represented by 17 letters and 6 double consonant combinations. Let's hear them.
V, G, Y, V, Z, F, K, K, L, Y, M, N, N, X, P, R, R, S, T, F, H, Ps, G, Ng, Ng, B, B, P, D, D, T, T, Z.
In the previous lesson, you learned that around 25 to 30% of English words come from Greek, either directly or indirectly, which is quite a lot. But did you also know that apart from the Greek vowels, which are very easy to pronounce, out of the 34 consonant sounds in Greek, you already know 26 of them? That means that if you were to simply imitate a Greek speaker, your pronunciation would be correct most of the time. For example, listen and repeat after Chrissy.
Παρακαλώ. Παρακαλώ.
Chances are your pronunciation was pretty spot on. The P, R, K, and L sounds are practically identical to English. Don't forget that words get accentuated in Greek, so make sure to stress that final syllable with the accent mark. Repeat after Chrissy.
Παρακαλώ. Παρακαλώ.
Since most sounds in Greek are identical to English, you only need to pay attention to the few sounds that are completely new to you. There are only 8 unique Greek consonant sounds that you need to learn to perfect your Greek pronunciation. One of these sounds can be heard in the following word.
Συγγνώμη.
This word is often romanized like this.
Συγγνώμη.
This character isn't pronounced using an English G sound at all.
Γ.
It's like a very soft, continuous, and loosely held G, almost as if you're gargling, but don't make it sound too throaty.
Γ.
There's no such sound in English, but most people would transcribe this using the letter G, because that's the closest equivalent in English. Pronouncing it like an English G, however, would be a huge mistake. To get that sound right, your tongue and the back part of your mouth should be barely separated from each other while you blow a steady stream of air between the small separation. Another approach is to try to pronounce a G as if an H sound were to follow after it and hold that sound while you exhale. The after sound created by that H is what you're looking for. Listen as Chrissy demonstrates. Repeat after her.
Συγγνώμη. Συγγνώμη.
Well done! Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that the rhythm of the Greek language is mixed and follows a fast tempo. The accentuation can only go on one of the three last syllables. A stressed syllable sounds longer, but the longer the word, the shorter the syllables are pronounced. Pre-stressed syllables are generally longer than post-stressed syllables. Collectively, nearly all the sounds in Greek are identical to the sounds in English. And finally, there are only 8 new sounds that you need to learn. We've covered only the basics of Greek pronunciation. If you're interested in learning more, check out the entire course we created named The Ultimate Guide to Greek Pronunciation. In that course, we cover and break down every single sound in the Greek language, showing you mouth and tongue positioning and giving you tips to help you perfect your Greek pronunciation. In the next lesson, we'll introduce you to the basics of Greek grammar, where you'll learn about Greek word order and how to build basic phrases in Greek. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Γεια χαρά!
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Greek. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Greek grammar. We won't be going into too much depth because it's impossible to condense everything into one short video lesson, but this video will give you a good idea of the main points of Greek grammar. The Greek language has one of the most extensive vocabularies in the world. All Greek words can be categorized into 10 different parts of speech. Furthermore, the Greek parts of speech are separated into inflected and non-inflected.
You might be wondering, what is inflection exactly?
Inflection is the modification of a word to express things such as tense, number, person, and more. The inflection of verbs is called conjugation. The inflection of articles, nouns, adjectives, and pronouns is called declension. When a word is not inflected, it means that its form never changes in speech.
The Greek inflected types of speech are the articles, nouns, adjectives, pronouns, verbs, and participles.
The Greek non-inflected types of speech are the adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections.
Greek has also some small non-inflected words called particles. However, particles are not considered a part of speech.
In this video, we won't focus on non-inflected words because their use is very straightforward. Instead, we'll focus on declension and conjugation, which are more complex processes. In Greek, articles, nouns, adjectives, pronouns, and the passive voice participles are declinable. That means that they have different forms, just like the English noun cat changes to cats in the plural. The whole set of different forms that a declinable word may present in Greek is called declension.
Or klisi, literally meaning inclination.
And each different form a declinable word may have is called case.
Or ptosi, literally meaning fall.
There are 4 cases in Greek: the nominative, the genitive, the accusative, and the vocative case.
In Greek, the nominative case has always been considered a direct case or orthiptosi, together with the vocative. The genitive and the accusative, on the other hand, were always considered to be oblique cases, or pleiestoses.
But what do direct and oblique mean here? Well, let's remember the inclination and fall concept for a moment. If you set up a thin stick vertically on the ground, it won't stand, it'll fall. The nominative case, being the direct case or straight case, indicates the form of a word that is the base, the starting point. This is like the moment when the stick is standing straight before it starts falling. Declinable words are always in the nominative form in dictionaries. In ancient times, the vocative was identical to the nominative. So the vocative is still considered a direct case, although today there may be some differences between the two cases. Imagine now that the standing stick starts falling. During the fall, its position constantly changes in relationship to its starting point until it falls flat on the ground. Declinable words change too in relationship to their starting point, the nominative case. So the oblique cases, or bent cases, represent the form of a word that is not the base, like when the stick is already inclined and falling. These are the genitive and the accusative cases. The whole idea of declension, cases, and different forms of the same word may seem strange to an English speaker because English lost its case system almost completely. However, we can still see some declension happening to words, such as the personal pronouns. For example, I, he, she, we, and they can change to me, him, her, us, and them. In the phrase, she loves him, she denotes the subject, while him denotes the object. Similarly, the Greek case system exists in order to indicate certain grammatical relationships among the words of a sentence, like the subject, object, and more. It's actually because of the case system that word order in Greek sentences is relatively flexible. For example, in English, the sentences "the cat eats the mouse" and "the mouse eats the cat" mean different things. By swapping the nouns cat and mouse, the meaning changes completely. However, in Greek, the meaning wouldn't change because the form itself of a word shows us whether it's the subject or the object.
The word order depends on what the speaker wants to emphasize, as the first word gets more attention. So the second sentence is actually more like saying, "It is the mouse that the cat eats."
The grammatical case is the first characteristic of declension. The other two characteristics are gender and number. There are 3 genders in Greek: masculine, feminine, and neuter. All declinable words, including articles, are gendered. For example, in Greek, the definite article the comes in all 3 genders.
O, I, to.
And just like in English, there are singular and plural forms. So in the plural form, the Greek definite articles become
I, ta.
If we also add the forms for each case, then these are all the possible forms a definite article may have in speech. Note that definite articles don't have a vocative case form. Another thing to keep in mind about articles is that they need to have the same case, gender, and number as the words they define. For example, nouns and adjectives. The same goes for all declinable words that define each other. Now let's move on to the conjugation of verbs.
Again, the word conjugation in Greek is called klisi.
Greek verbs are divided into 2 main conjugation groups depending on their main ending. There's conjugation A and conjugation B. Furthermore, conjugation B has 2 subgroups, first and second class. The conjugation group is one of the characteristics of a verb. There are 6 more characteristics that you need to keep in mind: the person, number, mood, tense, voice, and the diathesis. Just like in English, there are 3 persons, first, second, and third, for I, you, and he, she, it. There are 2 numerical forms, singular and plural, and 2 voices, active and passive. As for the tenses, there are 8 tenses in Greek. The present tense, which makes no distinction between the simple or continuous present, the past continuous, the simple past, the future continuous, the simple future, the perfect, the past perfect, and the future perfect tense. Please keep in mind that in Greek, it's not always necessary to add the personal pronoun. That's because unlike English, verbs have a different form for each person, so the verb form itself shows us which person we're talking about. If pronouns are used, those are to make the context more clear or for emphasis.
Next, the mood of a verb has to do with the way the verb is presented. A verb might be presented as something real, that is a fact, as something we expect or wish to happen, or as a command, among others. There are 5 moods in Greek, but we won't go into detail at this moment.
Lastly, diathesis, literally meaning disposition, has to do with the meaning of a verb and the type of action it describes. For example, it might show us that the subject is doing an action, that the subject is acting upon itself, that someone else is acting upon the subject, or that the subject is simply in a particular state. With these basic grammar points in mind, you know what to expect once you start studying Greek grammar.
Now, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned.
In this lesson, you learned the Greek parts of speech as well as which ones are inflected and which ones are not. We introduced you to the basic characteristics of declension and conjugation. You also learn that due to declension, word order is flexible in Greek. We've covered only the very basics of Greek grammar. If you're interested in more Greek, check out our Greek in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long. In the next lesson, we'll introduce you to the basics of Greek writing. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Γεια χαρά!
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Greek. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Greek writing. The Greek alphabet consists of 24 letters. There are 17 consonants and 7 vowels.
Alpha, Β, Γ, Δέλτα, Έψιλον, Ζ, Ήτα, Θ, Ι, Κάπα, Λάμδα, Μη, Νι, Ξι, Όμικρον, Πι, Ρο, Σίγμα, Ταφ, Ήψιλον, Φι, Χ, Ψ, Ωμέγα. There is an uppercase and a lowercase version for each letter, just like in English. However, the letter sigma, which is equivalent to the English S, has an extra lowercase form, which is used only when sigma is the final letter of a word.
The Greek alphabet was the basis for the Roman alphabet, which English uses, so you'll see a lot of similarities between the uppercase Greek and English letters. All uppercase letters are written above the line, just like most lowercase letters. However, there are some lowercase letters that extend a little bit below the line.
These are Β, Γ, Ζ, Ήτα, Μη, Ξι, Ρο, Φι, Χ, and Ψ. Depending on the handwriting of a person, Β and Ήτα may also be written completely above the line by shortening their extended lines.
Although Greek can also be handwritten in cursive style, this is not how Greeks usually write, as learning cursive writing is not compulsory at school. When writing in Greek, the order of letters is from left to right, with spaces between the words, just like in English.
For example, το μολύβι μου. The only difference is that Greek uses accent marks over the stressed syllables.
The main punctuation marks include the period, the comma, the exclamation mark, the question mark, which actually looks like an English semicolon, and the quotation marks. The Greek semicolon, which is literally called upper dot in Greek, is a dot that is placed at mid-letter height.
After an upper dot, the next word doesn't need to be capitalized. But after a period, an exclamation mark, and a question mark, you should capitalize the first letter of a new sentence, just like you would do in English.
Over the last few years, the internet and smartphones have become an important part of our lives. As the need for communication through text messages has increased, this inevitably has affected the way Greeks type in their own language.
If you have any Greek friends in your social media, perhaps you've noticed that occasionally some of them might type Greek words using the English alphabet instead of the Greek. This hybrid is called Greeklish, and it's a bad habit that you should not make your own.
The excuse for this is that typing with English letters is much faster than typing in Greek, because one doesn't have to add the accent marks. It also camouflages spelling mistakes.
Despite saving time, however, Greeklish makes reading a sentence much harder for Greeks, especially on longer texts. Sometimes reading too much Greeklish makes even native speakers forget how words are properly spelled. Overall, it gives a bad impression. The reason we are mentioning Greeklish is just in case you saw it somewhere and were wondering about it.
So if you're serious about learning how to read and write Greek, you should stick to the Greek alphabet and to proper writing.
But even when using the Greek alphabet, you might see other bad writing habits on social media. For example, some people write in uppercase letters only, or write normally but without any accent marks. Some people also seem to be using the English question mark instead of the Greek one, or the English quotation marks instead of the Greek ones. Please do not do any of those things when writing in Greek.
Okay, Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned the Greek alphabet and how the letters are written in relation to each other and to the line. You learned some basic punctuation marks, as well as what bad writing habits you should absolutely avoid.
We've covered the very basics of Greek writing. Check out our Greek Alphabet Made Easy series to learn more about the Greek alphabet, the letter combinations, the Greek punctuation, and how to handwrite each letter.
In the next lesson, you'll be entering Greek Boot Camp, where you'll learn useful beginner phrases to get you speaking Greek right away. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Γεια χαρά!
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Greek. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Chrissy.
In this lesson, we'll focus on teaching you the most useful Greek words and phrases for absolute beginners.
Make sure you're repeating the words out loud after I say the examples.
Are you ready? Let's get started. The best phrase to learn when studying a new language is one that expresses gratitude and appreciation. If you had to learn only a single phrase, this would be it.
We taught you this word in the first lesson of this series. Do you remember what it was? Ευχαριστώ. It means thank you. Ευχαριστώ.
Keep repeating after Chrissy until you get it.
Ευχαριστώ.
Your turn.
Ευχαριστώ. Ευχαριστώ.
Do you remember this mark here? We talked about it in lesson 2. It's the accent mark, and it indicates that this syllable is stressed. A stressed syllable is pronounced slightly longer and at a higher pitch than the rest of the syllables in a word. Listen again to how Chrissy is pronouncing this word and repeat.
Ευχαριστώ.
Okay, the next phrase we'll teach you is perhaps the second most useful of all phrases. It's to apologize or to excuse yourself.
We taught you this phrase in lesson 2. Do you remember what it was? Συγγνώμη. And it means excuse me or I'm sorry. Συγγνώμη.
Use this phrase when you want to grab a waiter's attention or when you're hustling through the busy streets of Athens.
Συγγνώμη.
Your turn.
Συγγνώμη.
Imagine you're on the street and you want to stop someone to ask them for directions. What do you say?
Συγγνώμη.
Okay, one last time.
Συγγνώμη.
Now you can say thank you, excuse me, and I'm sorry in Greek. Let's move on. Asking where something is an incredibly important and useful phrase to learn. You're going to need this when asking where the toilet, the metro station, or where the hotel is. To ask where something is, you need to add an article in one of the 3 genders, plus the name of the place or location after this phrase here.
Πού είναι?
For example, you want to ask, where is the toilet? You need to use the feminine article because the word toilet, which the article defines, is feminine in Greek.
Πού είναι η τουαλέτα?
When you first start learning Greek, don't worry too much about mixing up the gender of articles. This is something you learn with time and a lot of study. Plus, Greeks will understand your question well enough no matter what. Next, for the metro station, it'll be...
Πού είναι ο σταθμός του μετρό?
And so on. You can ask where something is by simply starting with...
Πού είναι? Πού means where. Είναι translates to is. Remember that what looks like an English semicolon is actually a question mark in Greek.
Altogether, it's...
Πού είναι?
Your turn.
Πού είναι? Πού είναι?
Okay, now let's teach you some vocabulary so that you can use it in the sentence. Here are some of the most common words you'll need to learn alongside their articles.
Η τουαλέτα.
The toilet.
Η τουαλέτα. Πού είναι η τουαλέτα?
Next,
Ο σταθμός του μετρό.
the metro station.
Ο σταθμός του μετρό. Πού είναι ο σταθμός του μετρό?
If you ask someone this question, they'll direct you to the closest metro station. If you'd like to ask where a specific metro station is, Like the Acropolis metro station, for example, simply place the station name after metro station.
Ο σταθμός του μετρό. Ο σταθμός του μετρό Ακρόπολη. Πού είναι ο σταθμός του μετρό Ακρόπολη?
Next,
Το ξενοδοχείο.
the hotel.
Το ξενοδοχείο. Πού είναι το ξενοδοχείο?
For a specific hotel, do the same thing as a metro station. Just place the name after hotel.
Το ξενοδοχείο. Το ξενοδοχείο Hilton. Πού είναι το ξενοδοχείο Hilton?
Next,
Το σούπερ μάρκετ.
the supermarket.
Το σούπερ μάρκετ. Πού είναι το σούπερ μάρκετ?
You can substitute almost anything and simply put
Πού είναι?
at the beginning of your sentence to ask where something is in Greek. In this final lesson, you learned how to say thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry, and how to ask where something is in Greek. And in this series, we introduced you to the basics of Greek pronunciation, grammar, writing, and more. Let's conclude with some parting advice from Chrissy and listen to some of her tips on how to learn Greek from a native Greek perspective.
First of all, if you want to improve your pronunciation and communication skills, try not to fit all Greek sounds onto those of the English alphabet. One effective way to initially master Greek pronunciation is to watch and study contemporary Greek videos. That's because we often use expressions and hand gestures in daily conversations that aren't necessarily introduced in grammar textbooks. Secondly, don't rely on romanization too much. The biggest mistake that I often see is learners using English letters instead of the Greek alphabet. Although romanization is helpful, it might not represent the exact sounds of Greek, since for some consonant sounds we only have a rough equivalent in English. One such example is the word gata, meaning cat. This is usually romanized with an initial G letter, but it is not pronounced gata. The first consonant is softer, gata. Watching contemporary videos such as our videos here at GreekPod101.com will ensure that you are learning real, applicable Greek in the fastest and most effective way.
You've reached the end of this course, Introduction to Greek, but it's only the beginning of your journey to Greek fluency. Where do you go from here? Try our Greek in 3-minute series, where we teach you beginner vocab and even more useful phrases. Or check out any of our other video series. We have many different categories for you to choose from. Good luck as you continue learning Greek, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!
Γεια χαρά!
Hi everyone! Do you know how to say I love you in Greek? In this lesson, you'll learn 3 different ways to say it. Let's start with how to express your feelings to your loved one.
Σ' αγαπώ. Σ' αγαπώ. Σ' αγαπώ.
Or if you want to explain those butterflies in your stomach, you can say
Σημαίνεις τόσα πολλά για μένα. Σημαίνεις τόσα πολλά για μένα. Σημαίνεις τόσα πολλά για μένα.
And when you feel that I love you is not enough, you can say
Οι λέξεις δεν μπορούν να περιγράψουν την αγάπη μου για σένα. Οι λέξεις δεν μπορούν να περιγράψουν την αγάπη μου για σένα. Οι λέξεις δεν μπορούν να περιγράψουν την αγάπη μου για σένα.
You just learned 3 different ways to say I love you in Greek. And if you're interested in learning more, don't forget to download your free Romance and Love cheat sheet, which includes romantic words, compliments, and pickup lines. Check out the description below and go to GreekPod101.com now. See you next time!
Hi everyone! Do you know the 1,000 most useful phrases? in Greek? In this lesson, you'll be able to know all of them, so sit back, relax, and have a cup of tea as you listen and learn.
Πού είναι η τουαλέτα?
Είμαι... φοβερό.
Έχω κάνει κράτηση. Πόσο κάνει αυτό?
Τι είναι αυτό? Σε ευχαριστώ. Αλήθεια?
Θα μπορούσατε να μου κάνετε έκπτωση? Το Wi-Fi είναι δωρεάν?
Θα μπορούσα να έχω το λογαριασμό. Τι μου προτείνετε? Μπορώ να το δοκιμάσω αυτό.
You just learned the 1,000 most useful phrases in Greek. And if you're interested in learning more, try learning the Core 2,000 word list. With this, you'll understand 95% of the language, and best of all, this is not a joke. Check out the description below and go to GreekPod101.com now. See you next time.
Welcome to another video of GreekPod101.com. Today we'll talk about 20 phrases for the beach. First of all is γυαλιά ηλίου, sunglasses. This is the number one accessory that you will need to the beach. And make sure that you will have plenty of them in case you lost or you break some of them to have alternatives. Έχεις δει τα γυαλιά ηλίου μου? Have you seen my sunglasses? Easy. Παραλία, beach. When you are going to the beach, you have to say πάω στη παραλία. I'm going to the beach. Κολύμβηση, swimming. Η κολύμβηση είναι μια καλή μορφή άσκησης. Swimming is a good way to exercise. Ήλιος, sun. Ο ήλιος κρύφτηκε πίσω από τα σύννεφα. The sun hid behind the clouds. Κοχύλι, seashell. Τα παιδιά ψάχνουν για κοχύλια στην άμμο. Τα παιδιά ψάχνουν για κοχύλια στην άμμο. The kids are looking for seashell in the sun. Μαγιό, swimsuit. Φέτος θέλω να πάρω μερικά καινούρια μαγιό. This year I want to buy some new swimsuits. Ωκεανός, ocean. Κατάφερε να διασχίσει μόνη της στον Ειρηνικό ωκεανό με ιστιοφόρο. She managed to cross the Pacific Ocean by herself with a sailing boat. Jet ski. Jet ski. It's the same thing. Τα jet ski πρέπει να κρατούν κάποια απόσταση ασφαλείας από τους λουόμενους. Jet skis should keep some distance from others. Πετσέτα παραλίας. Beach towel. Τοποθέτησε πρώτα την ομπρέλα και μετά άπλωσε την πετσέτα παραλίας. Place the umbrella first and then place the beach towel. Logical, Not for me. Ξαπλώστρα. It's the beach chair. Υπάρχει χρέωση αν χρησιμοποιήσετε τις ξαπλώστρες. There is a charge if you use the beach chairs or the sunbeds. There is a charge wherever you go. If someone is telling you that there is the sunbed free, then you have obligatory order something. Κάστρο από άμμο. Sand castle. Όταν ήταν μικρή, της άρεσε να φτιάχνει κάστρα στην άμμο. When she was little, she liked building sand castles. I still make my own sand castles. Φορητό ψυγείο. Cooler. Ξέχασα το φορητό ψυγείο μέσα στο αυτοκίνητο. I forgot the cooler in the car. It's a standard thing. Everyone they forgot the cooler. Everyone. So try not to. Παλήρια. Tide. Ανεβαίνει η παλήρια, οπότε ας μετακινήσουμε τα πράγματά μας. The tide is getting higher, so let's move our stuff. Μαύρισμα. Tan. If you want to get tan, you have to know this word. Κάνεις καλύτερο μαύρισμα φορώντας ένα strapless bikini. You get a better tan by wearing a strapless bikini. Believe me, you do. Κατάδυση με αναπνευστήρα. Snorkeling. Κάναμε κατάδυση με αναπνευστήρα για να δούμε τα ψάρια καλύτερα. We went snorkeling to see the fish better. Sayonara in Greek means flip-flop. Sayonara, exactly. Το κύμα πήρε τις σαγιονάρες μου. The wave took my flip-flops. If you are near to the sea during the tide comes up, this will happen. So remember this phrase. Αντιλιακή κρέμα. Sunscreen. Another important accessory when you go to the beach. Χρησιμοποιώ αντιλιακή κρέμα με δείκτη προστασίας 50. I use an SPF 50 sunscreen. Bikini. Bikini. We use the same word. Bikini is bikini. Simple enough. And if you want topless bikini, we use the same word also. Τι να πάρω φέτος, bikini ή ολόσωμο μαγιό? What should I get this year, bikini or swimsuit? Ψάθα. Straw beach mat. Μην πατάς στη ψάθα, τη γεμίζεις άμμο. Don't step on the straw beach mat. You are making it full of sand. Σκιά. Shade. Να κάτσουμε κάτω από ένα δέντρο για σκιά. Let's sit under a tree for some shade. That's it for today. This was Emmanuel. If you want to stay tuned, subscribe on GreekPod 101 and see you soon with more classes. Take care. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of GreekPod 101, How to Learn Greek. Today we'll have a classroom about phrases for surviving back to school. A little crazy, but anyway, this is the lesson for today. 10 phrases for surviving back to school. I don't get this. How we will survive back to school? How anyone can survive back to school? Anyway, I should stop drinking coffee. Very hyper today. Let's start. Number 1.
Σακίδιο. Backpack.
Σακίδιο. Backpack. Κάθε χρόνο της αρέσει να έχει καινούριο σακίδιο για το σχολείο. Every year she likes to have a new backpack for the school. Everyone likes to have a new backpack. Even me, that I'm not going to the school, I want every 3 months to change backpack. It's a normal thing. It's not only for the school.
Συμμαθητής. Classmate.
Συμμαθητής. Classmate. Ποιοι από τους συμμαθητές σου θα πάνε στο πάρτι? Which classmates of yours are going to the party? Important question. Remember it in Greek.
Μαθήματα. Homework.
Μαθήματα. Homework. A lot of homework. Έχεις κάνει τα μαθήματά σου? Have you done your homework? This question I really hate it. I always was hearing for 20 years. Have you done? Have you done? Anyway, I always did my homeworks. And I'm still doing my homeworks. Hope you do also. And learn fast the Greek language so to communicate easier.
Εξέταση. Exam.
Εξέταση. Exam. Οι εξετάσεις του πρώτου τριμήνου θα γίνουν τον Νοέμβριο. The exams of the first trimester will take place in November. Every 3 months we have exams. And every 6 months we have the major exams. And every year we have the crucial exams. So remember this. Εξέταση. Plural, εξετάσεις.
Καλοκαιρινές διακοπές. Summer break.
Oh, my favorite. Καλοκαιρινές διακοπές. Summer break. This is also a song in Greece, by the way. Επιστροφή στο σχολείο μετά τις καλοκαιρινές διακοπές είναι πάντα δύσκολη. The return to school after the summer break is always difficult. I know what to do.
Σχολείο. School.
Σχολείο. School. You can guess. It's easy. Το σχολείο χρειάζεται καλύτερο εξοπλισμό για το χημείο. The school needs better equipment for the chemistry lab. Of course it needs. Every school needs for the physics, for the mathematician and for the chemistry. Every year they have to renew.
Σπουδάζω. To study.
Σπουδάζω. To study. Σκέφτεται να σπουδάσει διοίκηση επιχειρήσεων. She's thinking of studying business management. This is what I'm doing. Business management. Especially in touristic sector. Είμαστε στην ίδια τάξη. We are in the same class. Είμαστε στην ίδια τάξη. We are in the same class. Not for long. If you don't pass the exams, you will not be in the same class. Ποια μαθήματα παρακολουθείς? What classes are you taking? Ποια μαθήματα παρακολουθείς? What classes are you taking? And you answer, none of your business. This is rude, Very rude. Don't do this. Τελείωσες τα μαθήματά σου? Did you finish your homework? Τελείωσες τα μαθήματά σου? Did you finish your homework? This is a rhetorical question that's happening from your parents. So be aware what you will answer. It's a rhetorical question. This is it for today. Hope you enjoy the classroom. For more Greek lessons, subscribe on GreekPod101.com and see you soon with more interesting lessons. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Greek ebook before it's gone.